Political analysts say the ANC Manifesto has no surprises, as it recycled old materials. According to analysts, the party has mastered is to identify challenges, but after elected, they don't address them. Issues of wealth, inequality, and also extreme high unemployment. Gender-based violence has reached crisis proportions, and corruption threatens the young democracy. Now, the ANC launched its manifesto at the same venue where the economic freedom fighters launched theirs weeks ago. Now, joining me on the news to discuss this is a political analyst, Sifo Sepe. Thank you for your time. And of course, let's start off with this. Your analysis on the ANC manifesto they presented over the weekend. And do you think that the ANC plans to effectively keep to its promises, particularly to the citizens in the upcoming polls?
I think the first thing that we must indicate is that the ANC has been in power for the last 8 years. And for the last 8 years, it has made a number of promises. And those promises have remained the same. So if one were to judge people on the basis of experience and history and promises, the ANC has failed for the last 8 years. It is not likely to succeed if it's given another 5 years. And in trying to come up with a manifesto, it understands fully well what South Africans are going through. First, we were exposed to load shedding. 2, we have high unemployment. 3, we have a deepening poverty. 4, we have young people who are hopeless, and we also have the land issue not being resolved. We also have race issues. We have gender violence. All these issues are known to the ANC. And because South Africans experience that, the ANC tends to repeat exactly the same things. But as we often say, there was nothing new, and we didn't expect anything new. But what has happened is that in the last 5 years, we have seen the worsening of the economic situation in South Africa. We've seen the highest unemployment. We've seen the highest inequality. We've seen corruption being entrenched. And all these are the promises that the current administration had made about 5 years ago. So they had failed dismally. So to expect them to do better next time, it's almost like choosing to be blind to the fact that you are dealing with people who have failed. So the ANC enters these elections with a loss of credibility, with a loss of believability.
So are you saying, I'm sorry to cut in here, are you saying that none of the key promises made by the ANC in their manifesto actually resonate with most of the voters, particularly South Africans?
They resonate in terms of the issues that have been raised. The people have no problem in identification of the problem. But what they have a problem with is that these are the same issues that the ANC had raised in the last elections, in the elections before that, and in the last 20 years. And it has not made any move. Instead, we have seen things getting worse to an extent that we have the mushrooming of political parties. The mushrooming of these political parties are in themselves a statement that the ANC is no longer a leader of society. They are actually saying we can no longer entrust these people. This is why many parties and South Africans are saying these coming elections will be like in 1994. It will be almost like a total reset. For the first time, all the polls indicate that the ANC will get less than 50%. So for the first time, we are going to start having what we call a
So are you saying that the ANC, in the previous election, going back to their manifesto, didn't achieve anything? Is that what you're suggesting?
Oh, definitely. Actually, if anything, things have become worse since Ramaphosa took over. Unemployment has become higher and unsustainable. Corruption has become entrenched. And when people talk about corruption, they start first with the president of the ANC, Ramaphosa. We must also remember that this is the same president who is known to have hidden thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars in the mattress. What type of a president does that? And the next thing, instead of being investigated, he has actually
Sibo, are you there? Okay, good.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, we lost you for a moment. But, I mean, let's look back at, of course, the previous elections. We know that the ANC has enjoyed quite, an array of support, in the past. Do you see that? What do you see happening in this upcoming poll? You said something about a paradigm shift, but what exactly, are we looking at, in your own words?
Well, the South Africans are saying they gave the ANC enough time to lead. And if you look at the last 3 elections or 4 elections, the ANC has been progressively losing support. And this is the first time that it will lose so much support that it will go below 50%. You need to understand that in 1994, the ANC won almost all the big cities in this country. It won all the provinces in this country. But right now, it has lost completely the Western Cape. It does not even bother. And it is clinging to KwaZulu-Natal, which is one of the biggest provinces, and Gauteng. These are the major provinces where you have the biggest metros. So if it loses those 2, then you're going to have a party that is only supported by old people and also people in rural areas.
Now let's talk about the voters themselves. Do you see a situation where you would eventually see on that day large voter turnout? What's the voter behavior looking like, at the moment?
Well, for now, people seem to be very excited about voting. And the reason why they are excited about voting is mainly because they think for the first time there might be a new political realignment. For some people, they chose not to vote because they knew that the ANC was going to win anyway. Now, with the possibility of the ANC losing, there has been a heightened interest by people to say, maybe it's time for us to become interested in politics. But at the same time, you also have some diehards of the ANC who are also seeing this possibility. And they're also equally excited and energized to make sure that the ANC remains in power. So on both sides, there's a sense of excitement and involvement and mobilization. So I do think that there will be a major turnout than we've seen in the last elections.
All right, Sipho Sefe, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.